Hetapu, Namaste, Assalamu alaikum, Huru Nefer. This is Kasank Ma Keparu with another video for you. And in this video, we're going to talk about how to expect the unexpected. So before I do that, I want you to hit the like button located below. And if this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications on when I go live or when I upload recorded videos. And don't forget, you can become a member of Patreon, and you can do so for as little as $1 or $20 per month. You can cancel anytime, and you get all exclusive access to videos, instructional videos on the esoteric, on how to perform a ritual, how to read the oracles, proper breathing techniques, and all that great stuff. And lastly, please share this video with family and friends so we can get the revolution started. So, Hetepu, I'm glad to see some of the Magi's have come in the chat room. And I want to talk to you today. It's a little late broadcast. So usually I come in a little earlier, but I wanted to talk about this important thing because, I'm always looking at, or I'm always getting feedback from Magi's on how they're doing with their magical practices. And a lot of you sometimes will come back to me and say, this didn't work. I tried this. And usually it's a matter of fine tuning it and just tweaking things, and then you'll see results you're looking for. But a lot of the heart of the problem, or I should say the root of the problem, comes from the fact that we're deeply entrenched in Western thinking. And magic doesn't work like that. You have to understand that the Western mindset, the way of thinking, was put in place by the ruling elite to keep us from accessing our magical power. And I'll explain what I mean by that. So the way that you go about trying to manifest things and the language you use actually betrays that. When you say things to yourself, oh, I'm so stupid, why did I do that? Or, oh, I'm dumb, that was stupid. You're actually commanding the spirit to manifest that kind of reality for you. And our language is structured in such a way that we manifest more of the negative things we don't want than the positive things that we want, because we have a strong attachment. You see, the society really focuses on fear-based programming. So we have a strong attachment to fear. And as you know, the subconscious mind, or the spirit, when it wants to manifest something, it really just looks for the thing that has the strongest emotional attachment to it to manifest. It doesn't look and say, well, I'm only going to manifest this because that's a good thing. That's what he wants. No, it's going to say, what is the strongest emotion that he has or she has, and then I will manifest that for her. That's what goes on, and many people don't realize this. Now, the other thing that's very important is I spoke about a few moments ago, is the fact that magic doesn't work in terms of Cartesian logic, and we're so like brainwashed to accept that as the definitive mode of thinking or definitive way of operating for the universe. That's how we think. We think like if we were to meet aliens from outer space, we would think that they're thinking in terms of Cartesian logic when they don't. And what is that? It's the one-to-one correlation. It is saying apples and apples, or oranges and oranges. You see, magic can work, and most often works indirectly. Magic also doesn't repeat itself sometimes. Most of the times, it's not a repeatable thing. This is why science has had a hard trouble studying it and documenting it, because magic is dynamic. It's interactive. It changes with you because you change. Your belief systems change, so magic changes. And it also is in relation, and this is a Ma'at thing, it's in relationship to who you are. This is why one Magi will be able to manifest something, and he'll give that magic spell to another Magi, and they won't be able to manifest the same thing. Because we each have our own belief systems. We each believe differently. This is why we manifest things differently. Now, going back to what I was saying, that there's no one-to-one correlation. Magic works indirectly. Okay, let's look at it this way. You say, I want to manifest a steak dinner. And you meditate on it, and you're focusing on it, and you have a strong emotional attachment. And the next day comes and you don't get that steak dinner, therefore you, according to logic and deduction, deductive logic, magic didn't work. Well, that again is because you're looking at it as a one-to-one correlation. You're not understanding how it works. And that probably wasn't really that great of an example. There's better examples I can give you, but I want you just to understand that, you've got to think unconventionally when it comes to magic, and then you have to look unconventionally. In fact, magic often works in the very unexpected ways, but it does work. All right. Um, because it's not going to go according to linear space time. Let me say it again. Magic is not going to adhere to linear space time, because magic, the realm of magic, is the right hemisphere of the brain, the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is devoid of space and time and linear thought. So don't expect what you want to come to fruition in the way you want it. It may not, and then it may. Expect the unexpected. Now, I'm going to give you something that's going to help you in your magical practices so you'll see better results. One of the things that you have to get into the mindset, and this is in the realm of NLP, neuro linguistic programming, which is a beautiful science. It's the science of structuring sentences and word patterns that command the spirit to do things. Now, when we see something happen and it doesn't happen in the way we want it to, we often attribute it to bad luck or just a negative thing. And that is a violation of Tahuti. Nothing has a quality in and of itself. Okay. So you've assigned a quality to it, which is the wrong thing to do. And that goes into a whole different rabbit hole. And I can explain a lot about what will happen after that. You see, when you don't place a label or definition on something, then you cannot manifest it because there's no emotion tied to it. And that really is your goal, is to be Osir, the mummy, still, and not having an emotional reaction to things. Therefore, you won't manifest bad things. Okay, that's the goal. You want to only manifest things at the command of your Haru. And who is Haru? Your will. Your will. You see, right now, you are controlled and dominated by the animal spirit. So things pop up that are out of your control because you don't realize you're manifesting. You see, you wouldn't see the environment in the so-called exterior world if you weren't manifesting. So you must understand that every moment, every microsecond, you are manifesting. Yes, you are. You are manifesting. You couldn't be here if you weren't manifesting, because reality exists in accordance with the expectations of the observer. Understand that. Now, with that in mind, going back to what I was saying with NLP, you have to start adapting your personal model, or we can call them affirmations or spells, whatever we want to say. When you start to build a lexicon for yourself, or affirmations or terminologies for yourself that affirm your power, then you become Osir, then you become a master magician. And the way to do that is to first understand that you are not the thoughts. They're separate from you. Thoughts come in and out. You are a receiver. And if you hold on to that thought and you dwell in it and you play out the scenarios, then you're responsible for it. Then it's yours. But if you allow it to come and go, then you're not responsible for it, because thoughts are in the air. They're transmitted. You're not responsible for them. Now, when we're putting the language structure together, the one pattern, I'll call it pattern because that's really what it is, that you can adopt that would help you in your magic is to say, no matter the outcome, or you can say, no matter what happens, it'll always work out to my favor. This is embedding in this command that even if a negative thing were to manifest, in the end, it'll work out to your favor. Because you must understand that that left brain is working on your behalf. So though something may manifest that may seem like a negative thing, the magic had to manifest that to get to the good thing. All right. If you're looking at, say, for example, trying to get a better career, or you want to really like move up the corporate ladder at your job, and you do a ritual, right? And you're like, oh, I'm doing a ritual. I want to move up the corporate ladder. I want to eventually become CEO in my company. And then suddenly you find out the company goes, well, let's say it this way. Suddenly you come in one day and you find out you got laid off. And then you blame magic. And then you're upset for the next 2 weeks because you're on unemployment, your severance package is not that great. And then suddenly a neighbor gives you a tip to a position in another company, and you go and apply for that position and find out that the position has already been filled. But there's another position, which is CEO of one of their subsidiary startup companies, and they'd like you to fill that role. And if it works out, you can have it permanently. So you see, the magic had to get you laid off from that job to get you to that startup company where you could be CEO, because that's what you wanted, isn't it? That's what you were asking for. But now here's the tricky part about this. And let's go back to this scenario. If when you got laid off, you stayed home and you were like, the magic didn't work. This is a terrible situation. My severance package is almost drained. My savings is almost gone. And I'm on unemployment. It's not enough to pay my bills. And then you get angry, despondent, upset. In that mode of operation, you're commanding the spirit to bring you more of that frequency of lack. Instead of being in faith, having faith that what you want is on its way, you're cursing the magic. You're upset at your condition. So although the magic may still happen because you did the ritual properly, it's going to take a lot longer for it to happen because you keep manifesting in your mind the magic didn't work. So then what you're doing is you're delaying the inevitable outcome, and you could have it sooner. So it's important that when you see a negative event, you stay the course. You hold on to the faith, and that will empower the magic to speed it up. This is why you adapt that personal truism, that pattern, which says, no matter what happens, it'll work out in my favor in the end. Because when you start doing that, you break away from Western linear thought process, uh, Western Cartesian logic, where everything has to be one to one, meaning that you ask for a job where you can climb the corporate ladder and be the CEO, and then you walk in one day and they promote you to CEO. That would be an example of the Western framework that we've been taught, that there has to be that one to one connection. But that's not how magic works. Magic works indirectly. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you have to adapt a frame of mind, a thinking, a language pattern that facilitates the magic doing its job. And another example of this, you say you want uh, a man, okay? I need a man to make me happy. I need a man. And you do magic and all that. You do your ritual to attract a mate, and you meet some guy, but you want somebody who's blonde hair, blue eyes, okay? But this guy, he has dark hair and brown eyes. So in your mind, well, the magic didn't work. Well, it did, because if you have that relationship with this person, he will be very devoted and loving, and that's what you really wanted, isn't it? That's what you want. That's more of a quality, a lasting quality that will pay off in the end. So we have to really stop looking at things um, in that one-to-one relationship, because that could spoil the magic, that could delay the magic, and worst case scenario, that could prevent the magic from doing its job and manifesting what we want. And what you'll find is that, and here's the beautiful part about this, what you'll find is that when you see the results of this and you put this into practice and you see firsthand that it does work, you will feel so empowered, far and above anyone else that you work with or you socialize with, because you'll get to a point where you're so comfortable, where you're so confident and self assured that whenever a challenge appears, you won't break a sweat because you'll know that, oh, it'll be a knee jerk reaction. The challenge appears and you say, oh, it's going to work out for my favor in the end. This means something good is coming. That's how your thought process, you'll immediately snap to that pattern of thinking. Now, the other part of it is, and it goes along with this, is that you must understand that it will manifest in the best way possible. So you must expect the unexpected. Leave room for the magic to do its job and stop giving it parameters, because then that delays it. In the case of the woman wanting a man with blue eyes and blonde hair, well, you're just delaying it because the magic now has to find somebody who's going to be loving and devoted to you, and also has blonde hair and blue eyes. You know, you're putting a lot of requirements on the magic. Magic tends to manifest the essence of something, and not necessarily the literal interpretation of it. And then sometimes it does do the literal interpretation. It's all according to how you think. This is why they can't put magic in in a science lab and test it. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't follow the conventional science logic. You understand? We're dealing with the occult practices here. High science is what magic is. So the first step is to start adapting that language pattern and to use it every time a challenge, or we'll say a difficulty, appears, because you have to train the mind to think that way in the midst of the heat. What do I mean by that? Well, Mike Tyson said everybody's got a plan until they get hit. It's easy for me to say this right now, but when that challenge appears, you're going to break a sweat, you're going to get upset, you're going to get angry, you're going to think the world's falling apart. And you're going to go, why me? Why me? Why? And I understand that. Everybody does that. The trick is to not deny that when that emotion comes up within you. Don't try to pretend like it's not there. Embrace it, accept it, but then say, it'll work out for me in the end. Because if you try to deny it and suppress it, it's going to get stronger and come back at you. So acknowledge it. Okay, I'm upset. I'm angry about what just happened, but let me drop back to my truism, and there you go. And then they'll get to a point where the negative thing that happens won't emotionally move you at all. You will have no response to it but to say, hey, it'll work out for me in the end. It always does. Now, here's something that I have to say to you. Even though I just said that last sentence, it always does, there is a warning I want to put to that. You have to understand that many of us are raised in Western society, and we have deeply embedded beliefs from this Western society. And we have to honor those beliefs because those beliefs don't go away easily. So if you don't believe that good things always happen to you, then don't say that. Okay? Because the mind is not going to accept it, and it's not going to be a command to manifest it. So you might as well not say it. You have to. It's like putting a puzzle together. You have to match things. See, we're looking at your mind and we're finding cracks in the wall, and then those cracks, we're slipping in patterns, language patterns in those cracks. This is why magic is a very personalized thing. And those cracks are cracks in your Western belief thinking. Oh, here's a crack here. Let's slip in this language pattern here to get this person to think correctly and to manifest something. If your belief system is so stern and so left brain that you have no cracks, it's going to be very difficult to work magic, for you to work magic, because you're very left brain. In hypnosis, when we're going to put a person under, we give them a test first to see how left brain they are. And usually with people like accountants or lawyers, it's very difficult to put them into trance because they're trained to think real logically out of the left hemisphere of the brain. So if that if we give them a test and we see that they're 90% left, well, just say they're like 80 to 90% left brain thinkers, we know then it's going to be very difficult to put them into a really deep state of trance, because that critical faculty, which is the left brain, will not allow them to go into trance because there will be no cracks in the wall to slip things through. Does that make sense? Right now, luckily, we all have these cracks in the wall. And if you don't understand what I mean, just put it to you this way. You have Western beliefs, right? But you haven't bought into them 100%. You may have bought into them 90%, 80%. That 10%, that 20% is the cracks in the wall where we can get in there and work our magic. Like a crack in the wall would be, I would say to you, well, do you believe in aliens? And you say, yeah, I kind of believe in aliens. Well, most of the people on this planet believe that there's other life on the planet, on other planets, and that's a crack in the Western thinking. Now most ask most people about that maybe back in the 50s and the 40s, then it will probably be more like a 95% answer no. There is no life. Or even going back to the Dark Ages, it'd probably be 100% back then. But you understand that we've got to purge ourselves of this false belief system, this false way of thinking that prevents our magic from manifesting. This is why the ancient Egyptians, the Kemetic people, their language was structured in such a way that when they spoke, it was commanding the spirit to manifest something. And every day, I'm watching what I say, and I'm watching how I say it, because I know that if I am not super careful, because I manifest things fairly quickly, that I may say something or think of something that I don't want, and I will manifest it because I have a strong emotional attachment to it. This is why most initiates into the Osirian religion go through the process of having no emotions tied to anything. They pull away from that. And this prepares you for death, because when you die, your will is disabled. So what does that mean? It's like when you dream, your will is disabled. So that in death, you will not be able to control what you think about, because your will is disabled. Then all your thoughts will bombard you and will take form. Even the negative, most grotesque thoughts will come at you, because those are the things that you're harboring in the deep recesses of your subconscious mind. And since your will is disabled, you'll have no way of mentally focusing on something else. This is the symbol of being devoured in the afterlife. So, to prevent that happening in our death, we practice in life, not assigning a label or definition to anything. Therefore, we have no emotion attached to it. Therefore, when we die and pass on, our thoughts won't attack us or take shape in grotesque forms. And we'll have a peaceful death. And we'll transition to the next life fairly easily. Now, I know how difficult that is, going through your day and not calling somebody a jerk, an asshole, or saying that, oh, I hate lemon cake, but I like chocolate cake. I know it's difficult, but this is spiritual practice. This is what you have to do. And the payoff is great, meaning you will be able to manifest the world that you want. You will be able to command and control your spiritual power. The animal part of you will not be in control. See, the animal part is the emotions within you that this society wants to nurture and make stronger. They want you to be an impulse buyer, a mega consumer. They want you to get agitated, angry, and upset. Look at the reality shows. Every show, they egg those people on. They tell them, get upset. Go out there and punch him. That's good. That's good TV. We're going to film it. Go do it. They want a population of people on this planet to be overly emotional, high strung, stressed. The goal for you is to learn to be at peace and be centered and to have control, Haru, your will, control of your spirit. You see, you should be the one in control of your animal spirit, not vice versa. Right now, too many people get triggered very easily. That's not how we're supposed to be. That's a mental illness. Did you know that? If you're getting triggered easily, I don't care. The smell of chocolate cake. Ooh, that smells good. I want some. You just got triggered. You shouldn't be triggered like that. Something that's simple. Do you see what I mean? You are supposed to be the master of the universe, the master of your destiny. You cannot be that way if you're going to be controlled by the animal spirit, the Sahu. And this is especially important when you're dealing with minorities because the ruling elite wants the minority population to be deaf, dumb, and blind and ruled by their animal spirit, the Sahu. Because you're easy to control in that way. They know it. They know your triggers. But when you are God, when you are centered, they can't control you. You see? So they need you to be emotional. They need you to get upset over the little things. Otherwise, they can't rule the planet. Do you understand what I'm saying? So let's sever that cord that they have and stop being a slave to the system. And let's start using our magic. It is natural to us, it is within us. As I said before, we're manifesting every microsecond. Why don't we now just choose the will, Haru, to manifest the world that we want, the life that we want? Does that make sense? Because right now we're manifesting the world that they want. They've given us definition, labels, categories, terms, and we are thinking of those things and manifesting those things. But those are things that they want. We don't want that. When they say, "Oh, it's time for election," we all manifest an election. When they say, "Oh, we need to spread democracy," we manifest a war. We don't want that. But you see, it's an automatic thing. That's how powerful your magic is. I want you to think about that, because that's the true mind control. And I've told the conspiracy theorists this. I said, you guys keep talking about this new world order that's coming. It is already here. And you guys keep talking about the brainwashing and programming. It's already here. They're just now going to the next level of it. 3.0. Do you understand? So don't talk about that. Oh, one world government is coming. The new world order is coming. That is here. It's already here. They've stripped you of a knowledge of self, your magic, and your history. You're already programmed. Your mind has been wiped clean. You don't even know your true history. So stop talking about this impending doom. That impending doom is already here. We are already slaves. We're so focused on the future and we don't look at the here and the now. And we're missing the point of it all. I'm not concerned about the monetary system that they're going to put in place. I'm not concerned about the one world government. I'm not concerned about that. I'm concerned about how I can use my power right now. How can I become stronger? How can I become a master magician? They fooled you into thinking that there's going to be a coup d'etat. There's not going to be no military uprising. They're slowly indoctrinating you into a mindset of slavery. They're socially engineering and crafting the perfect human, one that's ruled by the animal spirit and one that will go along with their slave enslavement. Maybe not you now, but your generations, your kids will. And they know this because they've got a generational plan. And they're very patient with their plan. They're very patient. They know it's going to take a couple of generations to get to the type of human they want, and they're slowly molding you, and you can't even see what they're doing because it's a very slow generational process. But rest assured, it's happening. They're just afraid that we'll catch on, and many of us have caught on. We're like, wait a minute. You see, they can't get you to drink the whole glass of Kool-Aid, but they can get you to take a sip and then another sip and another sip and another sip. And before you know it, the glass is empty. And you're like, how did we get here? How did we get to this enslavement? Well, you kept sipping from that cup. They start off slow with the Me Too movement. Oh, okay, sounds good. Women are oppressed and women don't need to be sexually molested. Okay. Then they come with the toxic masculinity. Oh, yeah, well, men can be aggressive sometime. Next thing, boom, there's no genders. We're all neutral. Wait, where did that come from? How'd you get there? Well, we, toxic masculinity, women, women are molested by men, and men have toxic masculinity, so we have to wipe out gender now. Makes sense, right? Well, I guess you're right. Okay, I guess you're right. Maybe you're right. I don't know. You see how that process starts to go? Some of you love to think about this. I've given you a lot of food for thought. And if you get an opportunity and you love the message, please consider donating to the channel. And I just want to thank all the Magi's for coming in today and spending this time with me. I know it's very late, and I'll do another broadcast a little earlier. So go have some dinner if that's the time for you, and get a good night's rest. Tomorrow, you're going to manifest a new world. This is Kasanth Ma Keperu, son of Maat and Tahuti. My aunt is a beautiful goddess, Heteru. Until my next broadcast, Amen Ra.